See if this starts. I might need to put on my headphones. How's this music? Okay. Throw that over there. Let's play this royalty-free music. And I'm just working on some programming. I might not have a lot of time to do stuff right now. My husband just woke up, so I don't know if he's wants to go do stuff. We should probably go do something while it's nice and sunny and not too hot today. But I was working on this before, so I just thought I'd stream it. So let me post a link to my Twitch on Twitter. And we'll just I'm refactoring stuff, so it's not that interesting, but let's see, let's put it on Twitter. I'm refactoring some code in my Pygame based engine. So exciting. So I'm going to turn down the desktop audio recording. I don't know. I might need to turn on the headphones, even though this is more comfortable without it. But that should be good. We'll just get started. So, what I was doing before, actually, I was going to implement. So back up for a second. I'm working on this framework for my Pygame project, so I can don't have to re-implement all the boilerplate. I've done this before with C++, but I'm doing this right now with Pygame. And then I have a template project which I can use to just clone it and then start working on it from there, so I don't have to again implement basic boilerplate over and over. So I was going to add a full screen / windowed toggle, and then I realized I did not implement the UI stuff very well, so I'm basically just renaming a bunch of shit. So that's what refactoring I'm doing today. And over here is my crappy menu markup language that I'm using. It just loads in this text file and sets up the menu. I need to rename these things here. I already renamed them in the menu manager, which loads it in and interprets it and sets it up, puts all the stuff on there. But I need to rename these different properties. So that's what I was doing a minute ago. So I'm going to open up, I already have Genie open. Let's just open up the other text editor and throw in these properties so I don't lose track of them. I put a bunch of them up here. So what I had done before, and I'm just kind of picking up my Edge framework again after maybe a year, I'm not sure. But before, and I don't know why I did this. So a button has a background texture and a foreground texture and text. It doesn't need to have text. It doesn't need to have an image, but I have those as available. And for some reason, I didn't just have the button contain a label and an image, whatever I was doing, but last time I had re-implemented a bunch of that stuff. So that's what I'm going back and fixing, and to do that I need to update the properties. I had one viewer there for a second, but now I have nobody again. Let's see, February. Okay, not quite a year, but quite a while. November last year, June last year, so just kind of messing with stuff here and there. Trying to look if my stream looks smooth or not. The preview window looks kind of rough. I think I ran into this when I was doing some game art the other time where it was really stuttery, and it says it's dropping frames on the thing. So let me pause stuff for a minute. And I'm just double checking. Oh, come on. Advertising. I might have to like close all of my Chrome windows. That might just be what I have to do. I got a message on Twitter. Okay, it's not smooth at all. I can hear myself, but it's not smooth. I really need another freaking computer. Okay, we're just gonna close all of Chrome, and I'll just run the... I'll look at the commit issues log later. I'll watch the live thing over here. We'll see if that makes it smoother. Like, this computer is supposed to be good. Why is it stuttering at having OBS open and then some text editors? Okay, let's go back. I was watching Brian Deckard play Detroit. Okay, here I am, live. One viewer. I don't know if that's me. Looks like I'm the only viewer. And another ad. So much fun. I'm going to also turn off the music. And we'll just... I'm going to see if this is nice and smooth once I am able to view this again. Okay, looks like it's okay. Yeah. I'll just keep the stream chat down here. Not that anyone ever talks in my stream. Okay, so I'm just refactoring this stuff. I decided to prefix the different things with button, label, or image so that I can make that a little bit more explicit. Over here, I have several menu items in this kind of template project, so I'll need to update these as well. So I guess I'll do that next, and then I also have to update the menu manager and my UI elements as well. So I guess we'll just be copy pasting some stuff. I'm going to open VLC back up, and we'll see if that causes the thing to stutter. There's my free music. Music. Yeah, we'll just play these and see if that works. Because it is very boring to program without music. And I didn't want to play anything that's going to be, like, copyrighted, like copyright infringement or whatever. Okay, so we have a label up here. We'll just change... What is my text config? Oh, what? Maybe I accidentally pasted that. But text, label font, label position, label color, label secondary color, oops. And style. White space does not matter here. It'll be able to read it. I thought of making this a CSV file, but it didn't seem really like it would work very well, and I just don't have a lot of patience sometimes. Just wanted to get something that worked so I can kind of get stuff rolling, and then I can always go back and fix stuff up later or make a different framework for the UI stuff. But I hate placing just buttons and images manually inside of the program code. So button texture, and heck, there might even be like a Pygame based system for like a GUI library or something, but I never looked. So we'll just move all this over. Label color, font, then the images, image texture, so icons. I should probably do this on the tile screen first, and then we can test it on there, and then everything else will just not load in. Oh, this is the tile screen, and then we can test a little bit at a time, because I'm going to have to update a lot of stuff before this even starts working again, because I basically broke the code. So button, texture, button position, action and type. Let's move this up further. Label text. Also, I just prefer things to be a bit more consistent. Like, I hate when things are named inconsistently, and I was kind of degrading into chaos there for a bit. So we're gonna try to fix this up and make it better. Actually, one of the things I like about programming for myself is just that I can spend as much time as I want making my code better, making everything work better, making the user interface better, which is not really a luxury that you're afforded on the job as a software developer, which is something that always bugged me. Okay, icon texture, I forgot to do these up here. Okay. I'll just tab these to the correct spot. Okay, so those should be okay. Up here it tells it what assets it should be loading for this menu. So this is the key basically, and then the file path that we need. So I know this is not going to run. It's going to complain. So we need to go into the actual label and button and all of that and fix it up. So I kind of change this around. I have it just loading all the options. You pass the options as key value pairs. And then I don't know, see again, like maybe I just wasn't thinking super clearly when I implemented this originally. But I just implemented all this stuff like this, and that's not really how I would want to do it. Maybe for now, one thing that kind of annoys me about Python is like sometimes when I'm in the middle of fixing stuff up, I want to comment out these functions, but it's not going to like that if I leave a function empty. So we're going to just kind of... I don't really want it to say a bunch of stuff. I don't know what people use to kind of get around that. I guess I could just comment out the function, but the function's being called, so I want a stub method. And I don't know what kind of is the ubiquitous way people deal with that. Actually, I might do image first, but we're just gonna kind of get everything building and running, and then modify it a little bit at a time. So just comment everything out. I am using source control, so I could erase these, but while I'm actually actively working on this stuff, I don't want to erase them. I like to have them there for reference, and then once I'm done with that code, I'll just erase it, but... Oops. Comment everything out. The important thing to me is right now is just being able to run the program. That's a mistake that a lot of students make when first learning the program, is their programs don't run and then they keep working on their programming assignments, and then it's just really hard to debug. So we're gonna not do that. We'll adjust all these functions as needed. And I guess the good part is I'm the only one who really uses my code. So I'm not breaking anyone else's stuff by doing this, as far as I know. Okay, so that's all there. this is all gonna break. So we're not even gonna save any elements at the moment. What it currently does is once it finds an end label, it says, okay, everything we've loaded up until this point, we're gonna throw it in there. Also, I'm just not doing this really great. So these all need to be loaded kind of separately. Direct what? I'm just gonna change how all of this works. But for now, I just want it to run. Okay, so here it loads the background. So the menu manager is still working with that. It does that, loads the background. It loads all this other stuff. So assets are being loaded in. And then these properties, let's see. This is marking whether it's loading an image or a label or a button. This is going to be the text, but this should just be the label text. So I want to pull in the text without any new lines. I don't know what text config was supposed to... Oh, okay. Text config was to load the text from a key. So we'll just kind of change that too from the config file. Yeah, we'll do that. So that just pulls in like the title, that's the key in the config file, it's a CSV file. It just loads that in. Position, so I was reusing the same code for all this. Do label position. And then let's just not do it that way. Let's do this. And I'll have to run it to make sure it works, but or the position does need to have the width and the height. So it's supposed to be a Pygame rect, but for the moment, maybe let's just do that. So pretty much the same for these. And button position. We'll run that and see if that works. Because I'm not as good at Python as I am with C++, so sometimes my syntax is off. Text color. We'll change this to label color. And this should be, was it pygame.color? I might have to look that up. Which I need to open Chrome, and we'll see if the program continues, if the stream continues being smooth or not. So, let's just do the Pygame cheat sheet. Pygame capital C color. And this should be, yeah, 0 to 255. Pygame color, tokens 1, 2, and 3. And we'll update the secondary color as well to do the same. And our blit rect, image blit rectangle. Now it's going to be the same thing because a button has an image. At the moment, the button texture doesn't have a blit rect. Let's add that. Which, in this case, it shouldn't need button background. .580 by 80. Where did my thing go? So we'll put that in there because we might want it later. So we'll do these as two separate ones. These are the positions. That should be like that. Secondary color of image blitrect and button blitrect. So this should be pygame.rectangle with tokens 1, 2, 3, and 4. And similarly here, label font. The rest of these can pretty much just be, well, these two need to be loaded in as images. The rest of these can be loaded in as what they are, so. Options, tokens 0 as the key is equal to tokens 1. Now let's make a note that this is for label font, label style, image effect, I think. Yeah, which I haven't implemented yet. And button action and button type. So those will just be loaded in one-to-one. Then we need the image texture and the button texture loaded like this. So that should be okay. We'll make this lowercase key. And then I have this all being cleared. I think we'll just do for key value in options. Wait, what was it using before? Oh, it just made its own options. Well, I don't know why I was doing that. Let's do that. See if that works. Then it draws its images, buttons, and labels. I have to update the button to draw correctly, but everything needs to be updated right now. So let's just look at label at first. It's reading a label. We're gonna set up a label with that key, font manager, font. I don't know, we should just pass in all the data, I think. I don't think we need to do this. Just pass in all the options. Even if we loaded something we don't need, just pass it all in so I don't have to keep updating the same list every time. Which should be okay for these two, I think. Just uncomment those. Pass in the options each time. I had a version of the button setup with and without text. I don't know why. Just gonna pass in the options. And then once we've created that button or label, we'll just clear that out. That might be okay. I want to make sure it runs. Key, I changed that to lowercase key. I think that's all that used it. Okay, so it runs. Now I just need to go back and fix the individual elements, which I had a genie opened up for that. Okay, so here It's loading in all the options. We need to set up the same stuff. So I guess we'll just keep these. Oops. I don't remember how exactly all of this was set up. Let's just uncomment this out. We'll change these. So I have a foreground text and a background text. The background text is for the like shadow or outline. So that should be okay. Deleting the background positions if background text is none. We set it to the foreground text, but I think I just did that too. I don't know, I guess just to default it to the same text so that you're making a background or an outline. The foreground text is not none. Gonna create that surface. Background text is not none. You're gonna create that surface. I'm gonna use the set style. Background text position, so it just makes a bunch of positions for the background layer. We can just kind of see if this works as is. Just non-type has no get item. Set position, foreground text position, change text. Set up, change text. I was using this temp text position, but where did I set it? Let's maybe set it to... I don't even remember what that was for. Oh, it's right here. The label position. Okay. That should be passed in. Unless I just didn't do that at some point. Let's just output it real quick. Oops. $100. And down here we have set it to the foreground text. What line was that? 81. Did that not get called? Because we should be passing in the foreground text. In C++, this is not how I would debug stuff, but honestly, I'm not that well acquainted with any Python-based debugging tools. Change text, none, foreground text, background text, self-dot foreground text. I thought I set it here, label text. let's print out every option we're loading. Okay, we have key, label, oh, text from config, okay. We'll update this. If label text from config, I should change these to self.options. Then we're going to load that text from the config file instead. I'll go through this later also. So then our self foreground text is going to be, we need to use the config file, which I don't know if this has, from edge.managers, import config manager, I think. Manager. Let's try that. I think I had this written somewhere else. Is that just in the menu manager? Oh, I already passed it in. Okay, I don't need to do this then. We're just gonna change this to that. And that should be fine. Now we have the font.render problem. String has no attribute render. Am I just passing in not the actual font itself? I might have done that down here. Change these. If tokens 0 is label font, then we're going to set label font to, now I have to open the font manager. Font manager.get whatever that font key was. Okay, so now the fonts, the label works. That's good. Let's go back here, get rid of that print. Oops, and label. See, isn't refactoring just so much fun? Gonna change all this stuff. I can't just copy these, right? I used copy somewhere else, but I don't remember where. Import copy. I think I just say self.options equals copy options. But then I can also output it to the screen if I want. I'll just throw that in here and make sure it still works. Yeah, I know I used copy somewhere in here. It's not there. Maybe in the template project itself and not the engine. No, I know I used like some sort of copy command. Let's see. Python copy. Oh yeah, I used that in my camera renderer, I think. Yeah, I just need to do from copy. Import copy. Or also, I didn't put the import up here, did I? Let's see if that works. Module object is not callable. Do I just say from copy, import copy? Is that gonna make it better? Again, kind of just work my way through Python as I'm doing stuff. I'm not the Python expert. Okay, so I'm working on images now. We got that copied over. Change these to use these self options. Let's see if this kind of works on its own without doing any extra work. Oh yeah. Oops. Oh, that was supposed to be. Even though update's not being used, it's still being called. Okay, it's running. I thought I had an image in here, but I don't see it on the screen. Well, that'll be a little harder to debug. I'm going to come back to that and work on the button, because the button also uses images, but it also uses labels, so it'll be a little bit more clear, I think. And we'll display all of our loaded options here as well, and uncomment this stuff out. Oops. Oh yeah, so let's throw in the options. Okay, now this stuff right here, the icon position and the text, those should be handled by those other classes. So we'll just say self.label.setup options and image setup with the options. Now action and type need to update. This is fine. Draw, we will just start with the background image of the buttons, see if that works, and kind of go from there. We'll worry about that other stuff later. Button, oh, what line? 53. Oops. This is in the label change text. I don't want you to call that right now. I just wanted to do the background. That's calling setup. Let's do if label text in self.options, then set it up, otherwise it'll just be none. Self.label is a label. Set these to none. And if image texture in self.options, then we'll set that up. Also, I spelled that wrong. also wanted to change these to self.options. So don't try to set up a label that has no text. No reason to do that. But it's still calling it, well, because it does have label text. But it's just, again, I only want to focus on one thing at a time, so we're not even going to bother. Okay, so the button backgrounds are showing up. Now we'll work with the label stuff. So, what was it complaining about? Kind of same as before. And we have label text. Oh, oops. It did not load something correct here. Because the label text shouldn't be 120-25. So let's look at the title screen thing. 20-25. Oh, oops. I just pasted that in wrong. That should be position. Maybe it was complaining because it couldn't find the position. Foreground, background, text color, label color. I might have forgotten to put like a... Well... It's not going to have anything for the background. So by default, we have no background color. If style is in options, style is none. Okay, which function is not happy? It's the change text function. And it's not happy about background text surface. So that's not really what we want. If self.style is not none, let's see if that works. Okay, so that's okay. That's happy now. In the button, we're setting up the label, but we still need to display it. So it draws the background, draw the text. Let's make sure that works okay. Okay, it drew it up here. That's not where I want it. I want it to be relative to the button. So for a label on its own, it should be based on the screen position, but the label that belongs to the button should be offset a bit. So let's change this. Label text. Let's update these properties. Yep, come on. So make position of label relative to button. How do I access this in Pygame? Because it's a pie rectangle, right? Okay, it's just the XY position. I know sometimes when I try to do like this, it doesn't have a good time and says I can't do that, so we'll see. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Can I just reassign it with the old values and update that? Okay, so it's, again, it's supposed to be relative to where the button is, so we're gonna say self dot background position 0 plus self.options label position 0 as the X and the Y. Okay, so now the text works. Next, the images. So we'll need to do a similar kind of thing here. And this would be our image position. And we'll see if it renders, because the other one wasn't rendering. Yeah, we're still having trouble with that image icon. Oh, also I'm not drawing it either, so why do I have two separate ones? Oh, okay, if there's a blit rect or not. It's just displaying a full image or part of an image. But the image needs some work, so we need to go in there and figure out why it's not doing it. Also, I guess I will uncomment this stuff for now. I'm gonna run it and just make sure stuff still works. I don't want you to still be printing everything. Why are you doing that? Maybe it's in the images themselves. Okay. So we'll say print new image. Kind of investigate those options. We're very close to being done with fixing up these UI elements. We have a texture. We have a font. The game screen is 1280 by 720, I think. Oh wait, label. Oh yeah, okay. I guess a bunch of stuff got passed in too. But all of the important stuff should be overwritten. So image position. All of that stuff doesn't matter. It'd be less cluttered if it just cleared properly. But calling that there and it's not doing it, so I'll look at that. How do I delete a dict? Python delete dictionary. Not a key, just the whole thing. Just clear it all out. Does it have a clear method? I will try that. Options.clear. Also, I'll just have it pass in the options. I mean, why would I even need that then? I don't know. If it does work just by doing this, then that should be fine. This is my leg. Options, global name options, not defined. Oh, oops. Clear options. No. Not that I really need to clear it ahead of time. It still has all that junk in there. The image shouldn't have all that junk, but that's not the important part right now. It should just have 4 things. The logo, the image effect doesn't do anything at the moment, and the blit rect. And it should be loading it. That should be fine. So why are you not doing anything? Image position. I'm gonna move this fan. Draw nothing. Well, maybe that's why it's drawing nothing then. Why are you drawing nothing? Oh, well, I didn't update these labels, so that could possibly be the problem. It's probably just as simple as that. It's still drawing nothing. Copy the options. I'm gonna get rid of this draw. No, the stream looks like it's being choppy again. I don't know why. New image. We got image blit rect. You're supposed to be saving that. And it is a rectangle. Image texture. Button texture. This is the main one I'm looking at right now. And like the surface looks like the right one. Why are you not happy? Why is that all... Image position, image texture. Oh, okay. I didn't update these labels. That would probably be helpful. Let's get rid of that. This should probably work now. Okay, this image shows up. These don't. So they're supposed to also have some textures. Did I not output those in the button? Text background. That's not needed here, but I am... that all needs to be updated. Draw the icon. Oh, okay. You need to call if self.image is not none. Then we're going to call self.image.draw and let it handle its own stuff. Woo! It works! Now I just have to fix these other menus because those are not going to be happy. So that's it, and then I'll take a break. Let me open that and this. I just gotta update my help screen, label, text, label position, label color, font style is here. That one. And secondary color. Throw these on the bottom. And options screen. Let's test this really quick with the help screen, which has like nothing on it, but it's a placeholder. Help! Return. Quit. Yay! Oh, I need to get rid of those prints also. I hate the leftover print statements. Okay. And where'd my menu go? How's the stream look? Choppy. Good. Okay, whatever. Label text. This up. Almost done. Just have to finish these last 4 buttons. Hopefully. And grab. Oops, I accidentally changed the speed button type. Action. Am I out of music in DLC? Well, fine, whatever. I'm almost done anyway. And button type, 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 type. I don't want to check my email. Make it go away. Put these up here. Image textures. I know I could use find and replace, but I'm not. I don't know. Image, blip rect. And texture, image, button. And position. I'm not using find and replace just because I want to basically double check everything. And some stuff was just like, hey, here's position, but it's also the same key whether it's a label or a button or anything else, and I just want to make sure I'm doing it right and not having to go back and fix weird, obscure UI errors. Okay, so let's make sure everything's running. Options. Oh. What? I put button BGS as a image blit rect. BGS, where are you? For which screen? Option screen? Oops, that should be button texture. Same error. Damn it, I have a new image being printed a bunch. Switch state. Set up. Option state, label. Foreground, background, foreground, position, change text. I don't want you to crash. I should add some error checking in here. 82. This is in the options screen, but I don't know which thingy it is. Come on, I want to take a break. I don't want to keep debugging. Foreground, text position. None. This is a label item, so let's also print out what its text is supposed to be. Label text, self dot options, label text, and that text position. Oh no. Something's being loaded in as the wrong type, maybe? Well, another thing we can do is, I just added this full screen toggle, so remove UI elements until it works. That didn't work. Just cut this, put it in here, and start with a few things at a time. Debugging things. It's not having a good time at all. Why not? Why are you being a pain in the butt? Okay, is something besides this. There might be like a label I created in the menu itself. That seems like something I would do. I created a label. Oh yeah, for the sound volume. Yeah, I have to update these labels too. So we'll put these back where they were. I need to update all of these, which is just 2 things. Because I have the... I mean, I guess I gotta put this in the menu file on its own and just updated it. But I didn't. So that might be something else to put in my issues log. And let's see if that works okay. Oh no. Oops. Copy paste errors, copy paste errors. Making errors by copy pasting. Yay! My volume buttons work, and now I can work on this full screen UI widget that I started on, but I was like, wait, I can't do this very well with my user interface thing. Oh great! I also probably need to fix something in there too. One last little thing. We probably have a label. I think I have a label for the frame rate in here. So we'll just update that as well. One more run, I think we're done. And I'm not done with this game state, and it is running really badly with OBS open, so I probably won't be able to stream my own games while also displaying this stuff. I don't know. It runs at a higher frame rate without OBS running, so you'll just have to trust me on that. But it's working, and it's loading a map, so currently we're at a good state with this template game. I'm going to make a commit in the engine itself and in the project, template project. Updated UI elements with better property names. And in here. I told you to ignore PYC files. Okay. Yeah. Get ignore PYC. Okay. Refactored, cleaned up UI stuff and labels. Okay, UI labels and got things working again. Make a push. And there it is. That's updated. I'm gonna go take a break.